All right, welcome to the third step in your three-step system, your three-step funnel. The one little thing that I want to point out is that this system is a three-step system that runs on a good landing page, a reliable webinar tool or meeting tool, like GoToWebinar, Zoom, or Webinar Jam. And then you want to have a calendar tool where people can go book themselves for a home review, right, to get their home selling score. The one thing that I want to point out from a funnel perspective, if you've heard that phrase thrown around before, is in the next couple of lectures, I'm going to show you how to integrate. You're going to connect your webinar tool, whether it's GoToWebinar, Zoom, or Webinar Jam, with your landing page tool, okay? Whether that be ClickFunnels, Lead Pages, or something else. That way, when folks are registering on your landing page, it automatically also actually registers them for the webinar. With a calendar tool, you're not connecting that in any way to the webinar tool or to the landing page tool. This is a URL that you're going to share with folks once they've been on your webinar, they've watched the webinar, and at the end, when you give them the call to action, this is when you're going to then share this tool. But from a technology perspective, it's a three-step funnel that you're using. You're using the landing page to invite people. You're using the webinar tool to deliver the presentation. And then the third step is you're giving them the calendar tool to go schedule themselves for a meeting so that it feels like you've got a system, a process. It's something that's already happening, right? They don't have to call you. They don't have to talk to a salesperson necessarily. It just feels like there's a real professional flow to it, okay? So with that said, also, we're going to focus on just using Calendly. I had originally wanted to give two options, Calendly and Schedule Once. As it turns out, with Schedule Once, you can get a 14-day free trial, and then after that, any account will cost you some money. Not a lot. I think it's like $7.50 or something, so it's pretty affordable per month. But with Calendly, you get a 14-day free trial as well to all of their features. And then after that, if you want, you can continue with a free account, okay, forever. And Calendly also, ironically enough, is much more nicely designed and looks nicer. And that's very important kind of for homeowners to feel like they're dealing with something professional, somebody they can rely on, right? So you can sign up for a 14-day free trial, but then you can continue afterwards with basic for free or upgrade to any of their paid accounts that give you more options. For the most part, pretty much for what we're doing here, the basic free account will give you what you need. Okay. So with that said, I'm going to then now go ahead and log into my account that I already have, and then I'm going to show you how to set this all up. So I'm in my account now. When you're setting up your Calendly account for the first time, it will ask you if you want to sign up or register through Google or if you have a Gmail address, then definitely do that. If you don't, because what it will do is it'll automatically integrate with your calendar. So if you click yes, then it'll ask you for which email address do you want to connect to your Calendly account, and then it'll automatically connect with your calendar. If you don't use your Google Calendar, if you don't use a Gmail account or a Google Calendar, then that doesn't make any sense for you. Then don't worry about that. Okay. So once you're inside your dashboard, what Calendly does is it gives you an ability to publish 15-minute meetings, 30-minute meetings, and 60-minute meetings. Okay, now I already renamed this to Home Selling Score, but it'll give you an opportunity to do 60-minute meetings. Okay, so with a free, if you end up rolling on the free account with Calendly, you can only have one meeting tool. You can only have one meeting feature. You can't have 2 or 3 meeting features, which is perfectly fine. So what you're going to do right away is you're going to click on the 15-minute meeting. You're going to click edit, and you're going to turn that off. Okay, so right now the event type, turn it back on because I had it off. You're going to turn it off. You're not going to even use it. And this is important in a few minutes, and I'll explain why. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go back to your dashboard. You're going to click on 30-minute meeting, edit, And for you, it'll be in this on position. You want to turn that off too. Okay. And then you're going to go back to your dashboard. And then over here, now on my screen, it says home selling score. On yours, it'll say either 45-minute meeting or 60-minute meeting. You're going to click on that. You're going to click edit. And then you're going to click on what event is this. Okay. And this is where you're going to rename it from whatever's your default to what you want to call this. I want to call it the home selling score review. Okay. I wouldn't worry about the location because the location is going to vary. You know, it's going to be dependent upon the homeowner's address. And then for the description instructions, you're just going to put in a little bit about what this is. You know, schedule your home selling score with a free Eastside home audit, right? Or whatever you want to call it, whatever you're going to end up calling it, or with a free Eastside home review. Okay, so that's going to be the description, and then here, I already set up my calendar link to where I was able to give it a custom URL, and I'll show you in a second how to do that. But I named it Eastside, which is after kind of the community that I would be in. And then specifically for this meeting, it's score, right? But you could put any word in here that you wanted. But I put score because obviously it's a home score. And then you select the color that you want. And I chose blue. And then you click save and close. Okay. So then over here, on the next box is when can people book this event? Now, you want every duration to be 60 minutes. It'll probably take longer than that, but you can have 60 minutes. You could set it to 90 minutes. However you want it, and then you're gonna scroll down and you're gonna select the days. Now, the dates and the times that this is available for people. Now, what I recommend is doing 2 options per week so that it feels for homeowners like you have an actual system in place. You're not chasing them, you're not desperate, you're not too available. At the same time, you give 2 different time availabilities so that it gives folks a chance to actually be able to connect with you depending on their schedule, right? So you might do something like a Tuesday afternoon or evening option and then like a Thursday morning option, or maybe like a Wednesday and a Saturday, whatever works for you, okay? But the way you do it is you simply click on the box that you want to use, where you want to have a time set, and you're just going to put in the time. So you might say 2 o'clock to, it's available from 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock. And then apply to all Tuesdays. Okay. And then let's say that you had time set on Wednesdays. Like let's say that when you opened up this tool, there was something, you know, it was by default set to where it was available on, it showed you being available on Wednesdays, okay? And you don't want that, so I'm going to fill that in. So let's say you open it up and it says by default that you're available on Wednesdays, and you're like, no, I don't want to be available on Wednesdays, I'm not. Well, all you would do is you would just click on the next Wednesday, and where it says available from 2, you would just click I'm unavailable instead, okay? So just click I'm unavailable, apply to all Wednesdays, and boom, it just removed that, okay? You can also remove it per any 1 week. So maybe, for example, normally you are available from 2 to 5 on Tuesdays and from 9 to 1 on Thursdays, for example, right? But let's say for this specific Thursday on the 15th, you won't be available. You can just click I'm unavailable, apply to only March 15th, and it removes it, okay? Or you can put it back on. And what I'll show you is how to adjust it to where you might be available at a custom time a little bit different than normal on that day. Okay, so I put that back on, but let's say on this Thursday, you're available from 9 to 1, but just not, you're all available Thursday, but not from 9 to 1. Well, what you do is you just click new interval, okay? And you could click new interval and delete this one, or you could just edit that interval. So let's just delete that one, and then you could say I'm available from 3 o'clock p.m. to 7 o'clock p.m. Okay, so let's say, and you're applying it all again only to that one Thursday or that one day. And so now it's 3 to 7. Okay, so now here we go. Here's how you're going to scroll down. You're going to click save and close once you're done mapping out your availability for your typical two times per week that you're available. Click save and close, and you're all good. Okay, for the most, you're almost completely done, but you're all good for setting up the calendar. So you go view the page, and this is what people will see. So you will give them a link like calendly.com/eastside/score. It could be slash, Joe's Village /score or whatever the town or city that you're in, if it's available. Okay, this date part automatically pops up on its own. This is what they see, right? So they're going to see your name, then they're going to see home selling score review, schedule your home selling score with a free Eastside home review, right? And then they're going to see the dates that are available. Very professional, very clean, okay? So for example, for that Thursday that we said that we were available, from I think it was 3 to 7, if they click Thursday, March 15th, check it out. It gives them the ability to schedule a meeting with you anywhere between starting from 3 to 6. Now you said you were available till 7. The reason it won't schedule it past 6 is because, again, remember, these are 60-minute meetings. So if somebody schedules it for 6, it'll automatically lock up your calendar from 6 to 7. There's no more availability. But somebody could, example, pick 3:45, and then what'll happen is that it will lock up 3:45 to 4:45. Does that make sense? So whatever time people use, it'll lock up. And then if somebody locks up 3:45 to 4:45, well, then 3 o'clock through 3:30 goes away because it wouldn't be available. And then if somebody else came on and wanted to schedule a session, it wouldn't be available until 5 o'clock or after because it typically gives a 15-minute buffer in between meetings. Okay, so that's how this works. And so let's say that they clicked on 3 o'clock and they wanted to schedule that. Then the next step that they're going to get is this right here. And they're going to enter it. And I'm going to show you real quick how to set up the telephone number and the street address. But it's going to require them to put in their name, their email address, their telephone number, and their street address. And then they're going to schedule their event with you. And that's it. They're going to click on that. And it's just going to give them a confirmation page. It's also going to automatically email you and then also update your calendar if you have Calendly integrated with your calendar. Okay? Very cool, very simple, very clean, very easy to follow for the homeowner. Okay, so really quickly to how to make, by default, the only thing that Calendly asks people for is their name and their email address. Okay, but you want to add the telephone number and the street address, because if you don't get those, it's obviously a worthless schedule, right? So what you're going to do back here when you're still in the editing tool is you're going to click the invitee questions right here. Okay. And what you're going to do is you're going to click add new questions. Now I already have telephone number and street address in there, but you're going to click add new question. And this is how you would do it. So let me go ahead and delete street address and telephone number so I can show you how to do it. Okay, so it's going to show you this by default when you open this up. It's just going to show you name and email address. Well, you want telephone number and street address, right? So click add new question. And what you're going to say is you're going to say telephone number. You're going to click this drop down. It gives you one specific option for phone number. You're going to click on that and you're going to click this button required. It is required, okay? You don't want to be wasting your time on people who are giving you half-assed information or going through your funnel for whatever reason just to see what it looks like, but they're not actually serious. Don't do that. Don't waste your time on nonsense. Click apply. So now the telephone number is in there, right? And then you want to add the street address. So just say street address, include city, and include city and zip. Required, and then I would say just leave this for them as a one line, okay? Just a one line box that they can fill in and click, and again, click required, make sure required is on and click apply. And there you go. Now you have the information, you'll be asking for the information that you need. So save and close, and then go back up here, view live page, 3 o'clock, confirm, and there you go. See, telephone number, street address, include city and zip. Got it? See, and then they would just type in, 333 Andover Drive 95666 or whatever for their zip code and for the street address, and you would have that. Okay, so that is how you set up Calendly. Okay, and then anytime you need to modify dates or whatever for when you're available, again, if you're in your dashboard, you will just simply click on home selling score. That's going to be the one that you're going to be using that's available. You can click edit and you go to when can people book this event, and you modify what's available, okay? And then you click save, close. Now really quickly, I want to go to event types and show you what the typical URL is. So event types are, when you first set up your account, it's just going to show calendly.com/your name, some version of your name, and then it's going to show 15-minute, 30-minute, and 60-minute, right? So let me click on this. This is what it looks like. Again, to show you by default, it's going to have this populated with 30-minute meeting, okay? But again, you're going to be doing it for the 60-minute version. I just wanted to show you what it looks like populated by default, okay? But you don't need to worry about that. So back to event types. If you want to edit the URL for your actual account, this, by the way, you can always publish this out too, just calendly.com/whatever you choose your name to be when you first set up your account. I chose Eastside. You can choose a lot of different names. I would choose a community name. But you can use this URL and even send that out to people, or have that in your signature or whatever it may be. And what's going to happen is that people will see this page. And when they click on it, it'll just take them to that next scheduling page, and they will continue through the rest of your funnel for scheduling an appointment with you. But for the most part, you're not going to be just sending this link out to most people or in your email signature, because they won't even understand what a home selling score review is. Typically, you're going to be sending people to a webinar presentation first, and then after that, you're going to be providing them with the link to schedule a selling score review. All right, so that's how you set up your Calendly account, okay? You're going to set up a 14-day free trial. You'll have full access. You can continue afterwards for free, and you'll get everything that you need if you're only using Calendly for your scheduling your home review meetings, because then you're just going to keep them to the 60-minute meetings. You're not going to worry about using your 15-minute meeting or your 30-minute meeting. You're going to have those turned off like I showed you before, and you're going to only be using the one meeting type, and that's it, okay? And again, just to recap real quickly, you're going to change the schedule in here if you ever need to schedule it. If you ever need to do custom minutes, you would just click on that box and say type in 90. And then what you could do is after that, you could have these set up for 90-minute meetings. Maybe that's how long it takes you to do a home review, and to make sure that you can make it to the next home review on time. But if you can do it in 60 minutes, use 60 minutes. If you need 90 minutes, use 90 minutes. And then it'll just automatically, once you select that and click save and close, it'll automatically update it to where then every home selling score review meeting is 90 minutes on your calendar. So then that will translate to your actual calendar tool when people are clicking on it to schedule a meeting, right? So if somebody schedules a meeting, then now the latest that they can schedule is 5:30, not 6, because again, it's a 90-minute meeting now that they're booking, okay? So you decide how long of a meeting you need set for every typical home selling score review, and then that's what the calendar will use. That's what the calendar will provide and make available for people who go to the landing page to schedule a home review meeting with you. Okay. And now in the next lectures, I'm going to show you how to start integrating some of all this stuff together. And then in a future lecture, I'm going to show you how to create a unique URL that you could point to your Calendly URL if you didn't want to use this long URL. Calendly.com/eastside or whatever city name you choose, town you choose /score. Okay. Again, these dates populate on their own. That's not something you have to worry about. If you want to be able to give people a simpler URL, like say something like, just homereview.com or eastsidehome.review.com, just something like that, just like an actual nice vanity URL that then redirects to this calendar. I'll show you in a future lecture how to do that as well, okay?